This is NBR Today. Researchers say Kiwi firms need to be better regulated after a study found chief executives who are paid more tend to use non-standard accounting measures to paint a better picture of performance. Firms are also most likely to use these extra metrics when earnings are falling. University of Otago corporate governance expert Helen Roberts says while there's nothing illegal about the practice, it's opportunistic for firms to add extra information which can confuse shareholders. While the Shareholders Association agrees non-generally accepted accounting principles measures, or GAAP, should be treated with caution, it says they can be useful in some circumstances. After completing a study of 60 NZX-listed companies over almost 10 years to 2013, the researchers say shareholders need to be wary of results that include more than GAAP figures. ASX-listed outdoor advertising company QMS will take a 40% stake in an expanded MediaWorks under a merger deal between the Kiwi broadcaster and QMS New Zealand. MediaWorks owner, US distressed asset investor Oaktree Capital, will retain a 60% stake in the combined entity, and MediaWorks chief executive Michael Anderson will helm the merged group. QMS said it would extract a capital return of $36.7 million as part of the deal. The Australian company said it expected the transaction to be earnings accretive for QMS shareholders in the year to June 2020. Large businesses such as supermarket chains are under notice that the government intends clamping down on unfair business practices. Those unfair practices include large businesses taking months to pay their suppliers and contractors and using their size to force smaller firms to supply goods and services at unreasonable prices. Commerce and Consumer Affairs Minister Chris Farfoy and Small Business Minister Stuart Nash have released a discussion document outlining a range of responses and is calling for submissions by February 25 next year. Mr Farfoy says unfair commercial practices can cause significant stress for consumers, while businesses can face cash flow problems, increased costs and stress.
I think we certainly know there needs to be some change. What we want to get is a gauge from small and medium businesses and their owners to figure out exactly where that change should be. We could go from one end to the extreme and prohibit a lot of stuff that we're seeing at the moment, or try and find a balance in the middle. But we won't know that until I think we have a really good handle on the extent of issues that small and medium business owners have. If we're going off what we've heard so far, it is having a real effect on their ability to grow and expand, and in some instances it's driven some businesses to the wall. So I think the options are open to us, but we've got to get the feedback from those who are being affected the most.
And New Zealand is expected to throw its commercial weight in on increasingly angry discussions about the future of airports near Queenstown. Earlier this year, Queenstown Airport gave up on its plans to expand the airport after locals said they didn't want any aircraft noise. But at the same time, the number of passengers through the airport continue their double-digit growth. 177,000 passengers moved through the airport in October this year. Now that's up 11% on the same month the previous year. Queenstown Airport Corporation has been investigating a small airport at nearby Wanaka, but locals there aren't so keen. And Air New Zealand has said in a leaked submission that it saw a potential need for a completely new regional airport to replace both Queenstown and Wanaka. Other alternatives are said to include aircraft using Invercargill Airport, but with a long drive for Queenstown visitors, or establishing a regional airport near Tarras, east of Wanaka and north of Cromwell. Our Shoeshine columnist this week takes a look at how the failed takeover bid for Tilt Renewables provides an interesting case study in takeover defence. So to recap, in mid-August, Tilt's two largest shareholders, Infratil and Mercury New Zealand, teamed up to try to take full ownership at $2.30 a share, which was an 8% premium to the closing price the day before the offer was made. Well, Tilt's 4 independent directors quickly closed ranks and warned shareholders not to accept the joint venture offer. They held the attempted coup off. Shareholders Association Chief Executive Michael Midgley told Shoeshine it was good to see independent directors standing up and making noise. And so too tomorrow, we speak to Housing Minister Phil Twyford on Kiwibuild after confusion reigns on its chief executive. For more on that and other stories, just head to our website. Good evening.
To unlock your 2 free articles a week, head to nbr.co.nz.